World mountain bike cross-country racing took up residence in the south of Johannesburg for a weekend in late April when the 2025 South African XCC and XCO Championships, powered by Balwin Properties and Balwin Sport and presented by Cycling South Africa and Gauteng MTB, were held on the rugged slopes of the Klip-Riviersberg range. The Thaba Trails Network is a fitting venue with its mix of rocky terrain, steep and loose descents and climbs, and a perfect race village setup at the Thaba Eco Village. On the Saturday afternoon, the short track or XCC races were the focus of attention, with Candice Lill and Tyler Jacobs, the pre-race favourites, lining up in the elite women's race along with the under-23s and the juniors. The track was a short and sharp lap of 1.1 kilometres. The elites and under-23 women did 8 laps and the juniors 6. After a thrash along the fence line, they swung into the first climb. By the time they hit the descent, Lill and Jacobs were ahead, followed by Riley Smith and Lillian Baber. Then it was Bianca Buerta and first junior Nadia van Wyk. Introduced to the World Cup circuit in 2018, initially as a pre-XCO warm-up race, XCC very quickly took its place at the main table as an exhilarating short-format event with races lasting no more than 20 minutes. It's become a fan favourite around the world and here in SA, as evidenced by the crowd and excitement at Thaba Trails. Both Candice and Tyler had jetted back from Brazil during the week after racing the first 2 rounds of the World Cup Series in Aracha, and they were showing their undoubted world-class pedigree. The chasers were lapping between 15 and 20 seconds slower than the 2 leaders. This was illustrated at the start-finish loop, where Jacobs and Lill were just about exiting the paved section as the chasers entered it. In Brazil, Lill, who started the year as the top-ranked female XCO rider in the world, was 7th in the first XCC race and 12th a week later in round 2. Jacobs, who was racing the under-23s, was 6th and 11th in the 2 rounds. Summer places Lillian Baber had been racing back home. She won the UCI Junior Series race in Namibia 2 weeks before the SA Champs. Carly Skeepers was in 5th place, and Nadia van Wyk was leading the juniors. Erin Mackridge started well. She posted a race-best lap time of 3:01, but the Drivetrain Academy rider wasn't able to sustain that pace. In the elite race, there was nothing between Lill and Jacobs. Their times differed by less than a second for lap after lap. Impressive under-23 Baber was holding 3rd, with the elite Skippers just behind her, whilst Van Wyk continued to dominate the junior race. Jacobs, who won the first round of the SA Cup XCC Series in Cape Town in March, rides for the Liv Factory Racing Team internationally. Lill is supported by husband Darren and a number of loyal sponsors like Roller Toyota, E-Fort, Seattle Coffee and King Price Insurance, who provide her with the backing that allows her to race a full World Cup series. Under 23 Carla Kortzer was lapped on the paved section by Lill and Jacobs with 3 laps to go. 6 laps done, and it was time to celebrate for the new junior champion Nadia van Wyk. She was 23 seconds ahead of second-placed Erin Mackridge.
Started with the elite women, which was quite different, not really used to that. The beginning of the race, the bottleneck really caught up to us, but luckily I had some space to pass a few people on the Jeep track before the single track. And yeah, just from there, like full gas.
Lill led Jacobs over the line for the penultimate time as they took the bell. It was clear that the 2 were in superb condition, and over the shorter distance of the XCC track, they were very well matched. It was going to be a thrilling finish, with both riders desperate to wear the national XCC jersey around the world. Onto the finish loop, and it was Candice in front, Tyler on her wheel, waiting for the chance to pounce. And that came in the final few metres as they sprinted for the line. And Tyler Jacobs took a sensational win by a tyre width from Candice Lill.
I always love racing with Candice in the XCC. It's so much fun. She was so strong today, and I sat behind her and saved some energy and waited for my time. I think definitely the aero shoe covers were what put me over the line. I wasn't sure if I would make it to the end with Candice because she's obviously like on top of the world right now. But yeah, I think she pushed really hard and I sat behind her and conserved and waited to the end to burn all of my matches. I'm stoked, I'm very stoked, yeah.
A huge win for Tyler Jacobs. She was crowned the South African XEC champion ahead of Candice Lill and Lillian Baber. 2 under-23s in the top 3. On to the men's elite and under-23 XEC race. Damon Blanche and Unati Ngumalo were representing Pump for Peace. Luke Moyer was the talk of the track, having ripped it up in the first 2 rounds in the Elite World Cups in Brazil. Michael Foster and Johan van Zyl were among his main rivals. The field was stacked with talent, some 36 riders all out to prove themselves on this fast and demanding circuit. There were 15 elite races, the rest were all under-23s as they blasted away from the start on what would be 7 laps. With little by way of passing area, positioning was key. Moyer led Ernie Roots, Johan van Zyl and the rest of the main contenders. Desperately chasing were young Andre van Rooyen and Jan Witte of Insect Science. The pace was red hot and the field quickly strung out over Wendell Bowles' top-class course. Moyer on the front is in his first season of elite racing internationally, and the impact he made over the previous 2 weekends in Brazil was nothing short of sensational, as he captured the attention of fans and no doubt some rivals and teams, with 5th place in the XCO race in round 2. A glance over his shoulder towards the end of the lap. Who was still with him? The answer was a significant number of challengers. He was wanting someone else to do the work though. No one appeared that keen just yet. Johan van Zyl of Toyota Specialized then went to the front. The man from Wellington has a good record in this form of racing. He was African champion on this course in 2023. He has devastating power on the short climbs and is well suited to the high-intensity racing. Then last year's XCO champion Foster of Paiga Eurosteel went to the front. Moyer and van Zyl followed with a small gap to the rest, which included young Daniel van der Walt from Belito, Ines Dupree from Summer Place in the Waterberg, and Arnaud de Toy of Insect Science. Roots was dropping back. Onto the paving, and van Zyl tried to split the group with an injection of real pace. The chasers were out of the saddle as they tried to close it down. Van Zyl, Foster, van der Walt, Moyer. Back on the dirt, Foster led Moyer, van Zyl, van der Walt and du Toit. The art of XEC racing is pacing, keeping enough in the tank for the final lap, but managing your pace efficiently enough so you don't lose positions at the business end is key. Foster was doing a good job, however those behind the man from Ikopo were only too happy to have him set the pace. If you have the confidence and strength, then short bursts of speed can thin the group out, as van Zyl did with 3 laps to go. Foster, Moyer and company though were up for the challenge and soon brought him back. Further back in the field, the racing for minor positions was just as intense. Everyone wanted to bring their best to the championships. But it was at the sharp end where all eyes were focused. The National Championships is a huge goal for so many riders, and the chance to wear the jersey comes around just once a year. Van Zyl powered onto the final lap, a few meters ahead of Foster, Moyer, van der Walt, du Toit and a young Dupree. It was anyone's race. Onto the paving for the final time, and van Zyl attacked. Moyer reacted, with van der Walt a few seconds behind him. They were all in for the win. And try as he might, Moyer couldn't get the better of van Zyl for the second time on this very track. Toyota Specialized Johan van Zyl, the champion, ahead of a somewhat fatigued Moyer.
Yeah, obviously you wanted to peak a bit for Brazil and hopefully get some good results, which I thankfully did. And hopefully get a European team. And yeah, traveling back I was super fatigued. I mean, the jet lag and the emotional fatigue is immense. So I was like struggling for a week, even though I got really good results. You know, it's really tough getting back into the groove and straight to Joburg for SA Champs. Yeah, super stoked for Johan. I wish I could have gotten the jersey, but that's racing.
I can't believe this. When 2 weeks back I was in Namibia and I was just nowhere. Put some good training in before this race and yeah, it worked. So yeah, I can't complain. When that bell went, I was just like, well, let's see what we can do, and yeah, it worked. So yeah, pretty cool.